What up, World Wide Web? You're now rocking with Houston's own El
And
Comma.
the evilest of Dre's, doing what we do with a whole new groove.
It's the code. Don't get it confused.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, would you bring your attention to me? For a feast for your eyes to see, an explosion of catastrophe, like nothing you've ever seen before. Watch closely as I open this door. Your jaws will be on the floor. After this, you'll be begging for more. Welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. We are back at it. Will be a year and a half later.
Yeah, thereabouts. New clan, new site.
Well, at least all types of new. At least the last time we did it, we went out on a good note, even though no one knew about
I
it.
know, man. That still makes me sad. We need to find that file.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure. You know what? Actually, I don't know if I have it somewhere. I very well might. If we do find it, we might do like a little throwback or something on the code.
Definitely, man. It was fantastic. Well, that's not to detract what we got going on here. We got an amazing thing happening again. We got Dre, we got Logic over there. Logic Legend, my bad. And this is the code.
No longer Logic the Legend. Although, for some reason, the lot of you refuse to accept me as anything but Logic, but you'll have to learn come PS4 because it's going to be El Comma all the way.
Yeah.
Hey, at least you guys still have an L to work
I
with.
guess, but I mean that's still weird. I mean that's just me though.
No, that's going to be everybody. I already know the tiers are going to be streaming down.
Well, of course, but that's just because that's how we know you, man.
It's all good. At least you keep your name, you're still going to be Evilldrey forever.
Yeah, whether that be 2 L's or 3 L's or 17 L's, who knows? We'll see.
Man, but yeah, so like the code is pretty much just like me and Dre, we get down and we yammer back and forth about whatever we decide to talk about for your listening pleasure. It really the changeover, we used to be the Red Alert, but now with our new site, Absol Via Tormentum, abthq.org or .com, it's going to be soon.
Yeah, eventually when I get around to it.
That's pretty much the code that we're speaking of when we name the show is just, our code, how we operate. It's, between us both as good friends. We've always had, a good amount of loyalty, respect, and, I forget the other part of the code. It's 3 things.
That's a great question, isn't it? That's terrible.
Wait. Honor, loyalty, and respect. That's the code. Pretty much, let's not get it confused. As I told you in the intro, when we mean honor, loyalty, and respect, we honor our own opinions. We are loyal to our own opinions and, we respect the opinions of everyone, mostly ours.
And we will debate them. There's not a doubt about it.
At great minimal length.
All the time. In other words, all the time.
Speaking of, length, this winter's been a bitch down here in Texas.
Dude, I know. It's been really crazy. Like, this is probably the 4th or 5th time that I'm actually seeing it frozen down here.
Yeah, and, well, I mean, I haven't been driving as much, but I remember the last time it was frozen down here. It was the first time I actually knew what it meant when those signs says, watch out for ice on bridges.
Oh yeah, dude. No, you don't ever want to experience that. It's just like, oh, ice and bumper cars.
Yeah, the first time I ran into that crap, like I was driving, I was doing like 20 miles an hour, hit like, the patch of bridge that I crossed over couldn't have been no more than about 30, 40 feet. And my car just said, nope, I don't know how to work anymore.
Yeah, I love it, man. Who said we didn't have hover cars, man?
Yeah, but the thing is that like sometimes it's not even that bad, but you gotta admit, I mean, I know you're a native Texan. I've only been here, less than 10 years, but you guys, maybe not you per se, but the city as a whole loses its shit in winter weather.
Oh, yeah, dude. No, I mean, you gotta remember, we consider winter weather about 45 degrees because that's about what it hits. Now, when you get ice thrown into the mix, and pretty much all of the state of Texas loses its shit when that happens. It's not just us.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, but I've been in Dallas when it was cold, and it's like those people don't seem so freaked out up there. I guess it happens more often. But like, when you get to about 30 degrees down here, and mind you, after suffering the summers down here, when you get 90, 100, 90, 95, and then you all of a sudden are in a winter weather of, 40s down to the occasional 30, that shit is brick cold.
Oh yeah, dude. Nah, you get acclimated to this weather real quick, or you move. That's about it.
Acclimated by rape.
Yeah, you have no choice, man. Not a single choice. At least it's that surprising.
Well, and it's not as bad as the raping the Broncos got in the Super Bowl.
Well, no doubt. But I mean, a lot of people want to go ahead and blame Peyton Manning for it. But I mean, it wasn't just Peyton Manning. It was the entire team just fell apart.
Dude, they got smacked.
Yeah, they did. And you know what's great though? I actually managed to make $20 off of them week before, and I was like, guys, like, hey, you want double or nothing? I was like, hell no.
Dude, that sucks. Cause like, I mean, I'm a big Manning fan. Just the family, you know, the lineage in and of itself. I mean, seeing Peyton do his thing in Indianapolis. And, I've actually always been, Eli Manning fan. This was before, I mean, when he was in Ole Miss, I was a fan of his. And then when there was the whole controversy of him not wanting to play for the Chargers or whatever, and he got traded to the Giants. Hey, TLDR, he has 2 Super Bowl championships. Say what you want about him. And I'm always going to be a big Eli fan.
Is not elite. He is not.
Hey, who cares about elite, dude? Rings are rings.
Yeah, but dude, he's not that good, like, at all. Like, I understand he's a Manning, and that comes with a certain level of competency, but, dude, did you see last season? He was awful.
No, I really didn't watch a lot of football last season. But it was just like, I mean, I haven't even watched that much NBA. I'm just getting back into the NBA season now. And, I just know things were bad in New York. The Jets were garbage. The Giants were garbage. I mean, the only thing we had going for us was that the Super Bowl was going to be there that year.
And even then, that almost got screwed up.
I'm a sucker for offense. I was the guy rooting for the Suns when they had the whole Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, 7 seconds or less scoring thing. I love offense, but as the old adage goes, offense sells tickets, defense wins championships, I guess.
Not out, man. Always. But, I mean, speaking of the defense, dude, did you hear about this new Michael Samcat coming out of Missouri?
Yeah, I remember it was actually about a week ago. I'm with my brother in the room. We're watching ESPN because we wanted to see it was a night where the Clippers played the Los Angeles Clippers played the Philadelphia 76ers. And it was the same night where they had scored like 40 points in the first quarter, the Clippers. And the 76ers scored 15, and we're like, oh man, we gotta see this SmackDown. Point being, we couldn't have cared less about anything but what we wanted to see for NBA highlights. And then the show starts, and granted, it being big news, it was all about this Michael Samcat. And we're like, okay, so what is it about? And so apparently he's, you know, he's openly gay, and he's about to be in the draft.
Yeah, that seems to be the primary, you know, storyline and things like that. But I mean, it's like, everyone's making it a huge-ass deal because it's like, oh, there's a gay guy in a locker room. And guess what? It's going to be a locker room anyway. You're going to be tired as fuck. He's going to be tired at the end of the game. He's not going to be looking at your ass. He's going to be looking at his own problems as far as, damn, I'm tired.
He's going to be a little too tired to chase you around the locker room.
It's not going to be that big of a deal, I don't think. The only thing that's going to be the biggest deal is that the freaking media, man. They're going to be all over that.
Yeah, it's going to be, I mean, you know what it is, though, and just trying to be as mature as possible as I can be about it because, you know, in our experiences, we've always been within our communities that we've been in. We've always been very loose with our humor on any topic, whether it be racism, homosexuality, whatever the case may be. We've always been just very loose about it, very, let's say, quote unquote, fun loving about it. And, definitely not PC at all. Not at all. But, you know, we've never taken it personally or to heart. Like, you know, we were able to differentiate between when someone was doing it with malicious intent and if it was the usual brand of, you know, just screwing around that we always did.
Yeah, but I mean, there's always those people that, you know, not saying that we've ever had to deal with these people, but they're going to take it to heart and they're always going to get, you know, obviously butthurt about it. And it's never fun when you have those kind of people where you can't even joke with them about things. At that point, you're just going to end up just being just going to shut up, or you're just going to exclude them. And at that point, nobody wins.
Yeah, and it's really, you know, it goes back to what you said about the media. They really just kind of not blow it out of proportion because yes, it is a big deal. It's like when Jason Collins came out as, was it Jason Collins or was it the other twin?
No, it was Jason Collins, you know, the guy that's way over the hill and that's not going to get a job anyway.
Yeah. So he, you know, he was never that great of an NBA player, to be honest. I mean, it was a cool thing, you know, you can't teach height. So of course you get drafted, you get money. If you can be a newsflash out there, if you're over 6'10" and have a slight bit of coordination, go play basketball. You can probably end up in the NBA and make some money. But aside from that, he was never really talented, and he really announced that he was openly gay by the time he was already on the downside of what was a very uneventful
Yeah,
career.
I mean, he was 35 when he announced it. Now, had he been, in the middle of his 20s when he announced it, that would have been something different. I would have definitely wanted to see what happened at that point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because it's like, if he would have been like 25 and he says, oh, I'm openly gay, and then he doesn't get a job, you can make a thing out of it. At the point that he said it, I mean, sure, he could probably still have landed a job. I mean, 39-year-old Marcus Camby, but we are talking about a big difference in the spectrum of talent when we get to that point.
Oh, yeah, dude, because, I mean, when you're mediocre, when you're in your prime, you're less than mediocre when you're 35.
Exactly. But it's like, the big thing that may be a concern with Michael Sam is it going to hurt his draft stock? Now, mind you, I didn't watch him in college. I don't like college sports to begin with. It was only, like I said, the only time I ever followed college sports to any extent was when Eli Manning was at Ole Miss, and I didn't follow it that closely. But from the highlights I saw on Sports Center when they were talking about Michael Sam, I'm like, hey, he looks like he can hit and read an offense with the best of them. I didn't see any problems with what he was able to do, and if he can do that, I mean, a team should just judge him on his talent.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's also in a perfect world. But one thing to keep in mind is that he was actually voted SEC Defensive Player of the Year or something like that. So I mean, he's not a terrible player, but I remember I listened to 610 Sports Radio on the way to work. It's a Houston sports radio talk show. And they said the craziest thing about that is the day he announced it, he was initially a 3rd-round draft pick, and he was like the 3rd or 4th best defensive lineman in the draft. He announces it that night. He goes down to like a 6th or 7th round draft pick, and he's now like the 10th or 12th best defensive lineman in the draft. And that's ridiculous. And the next day it bounces back up, but he still lost some ground just because of that announcement.
Well, you know what it is, really? I think when it comes down to the end of it, when it comes to Michael Sam, if he's talented, and he seems to be somewhat, I mean, being ranked that high, as a defensive player in the NFL holds a lot of weight. And once you make an announcement, people changing your opinion. If he's as talented as he was projected to be initially, a lot of teams are going to look really stupid when he's out there putting up numbers and winning games.
I mean, exactly. I mean, that's just it. Like, you gotta go ahead and just eat the media and just draft the best player that you can. And I mean, if this guy is going to be this great, defensive pass rusher and things like that, you definitely need to pick him up. I mean, that's just it. That's all you gotta do. You gotta evaluate on talent and go.
Oh no, absolutely. And it was like, it's like, we've had our experiences with openly gay community member, when we were back in the other community, and now with AVT, we had Super Dragon, and, for the bulk of the time that we've known him, he's been openly gay. He's let us know about it. He can take a gay joke with the best of them, and he can be as un-PC as we can ever be, and quite harassing in the process, but all with a comical value. And when it came down to it, I mean, what we valued him on was A, his ability to be social with us, and B, his ability on whatever battlefield of choice we were on at that time, be it, no pun intended, be it Battlefield or be it Call of Duty. He held his own.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he was able to take a joke too, which is definitely something that's very much so valued as far as within our community, because obviously we're gonna say, like gay, or look at this fag over there. And we're not talking about him. He knows that. I mean, we're talking about a douchebag who's causing us problems.
Yeah, and it's like he never really, like, in the sense that we always use those terms, don't get me wrong, as far as it being socially acceptable, yeah, it has its questionable value depending on how PC or how you want to approach it politically. But among friends, amongst people who have a common, a common bond or whatever the case may be, like, we could be in the middle of a game and I could be like, man, this fucking fag camper is over there on top of that building. And he'd be like, yeah, I got him. And that's it. We'd move along. He knew what we were talking about, and that's just the way we talk. So it's just a matter of people kind of just assimilating to the idea, I think, that in the long run, we're in a society that I mean, ideally not thinking about any other of the factors that may be coming into play as far as the next 5-10 years go in the global and in the world we live in. But in a good perfect world, or in the world as it's going to evolve with no other major influences, gay athletes are going to become a norm.
Oh yeah, dude, definitely. I mean, it's just going to happen. They're going to come out. There's going to be a lot more respect. And, it's not going to necessarily hurt them as much as far as, just even their daily lives. So I think it's a good thing that he's coming out.
Yeah, I really think so too. I think, I can appreciate, going back to, was it Don Amici who came out after he retired from the NBA? And that he was openly gay, and then we have Jason Collins in the NBA, and there've always been athletes that have been questioned on it or whatever the case may be, and now we have Michael Sam comes out, I'm openly gay at the beginning of his career, and it's like you said, we're gonna see a lot more talent, a lot more athletes, a lot more whatever. I mean, you can even go into music as far as Frank Ocean and him coming out as being, not maybe openly gay, but potentially having a previous bisexual experience, whatever the case may be. These things, I mean, whether you have an opinion on it or not, if you have half a brain and a standard moral compass, you can understand that this is a human being at the end of the day and should be allowed to do whatever it is he wants to do with his life and his talent.
Stay tuned for next time. We're going to break down some more things, more gaming related items. Definitely. So my name is Evilldrey.
This is El Kama.
Have a nice night, guys.
Gay! I wanna take you to a